Welcome to Art of the Week with Katya, episode 3. This one will be about monumental contemporary art that shows a bit of city identity. Right now, you're joining me in front of the statue of Vivaldi's Women. It was made in 2002. It's a piece of contemporary art in Venice that talks about the history here of the very famous composer in Venice, Vivaldi. And I'm not sure if many of you know this, but he composed a lot of his pieces for a specific convent of women that had to do with a female orphanage of women who were left here. This piece is, while it's very contemporary, it speaks very much about the history of Venice and about Venetian identity as much as it's tied to this composer. Now, actually, this episode is about something else, which I will start showing you now. The murals that are created in Kosovo, which have run along these similar guidelines as contemporary art pieces that are in fact created very recently, and they do demonstrate the city of Pristina, where we currently are. So Kosovo has been a country since 2008, so it's fairly recent as a country itself. And unlike many other countries that around it that also participated in communist Yugoslavia, instead of picking their own origin, they have a multi-origin, a multi-ethnicity between Albania and Serbia. And what's very interesting is that also this country was under the Ottoman Empire. For example, the center of Pristina was the Çarşı in Turkish, meaning the market itself. So a lot of the area still carries Turkish names. And it's very much, the ideals of culture are very much centered in education as a result, which also comes from the Ottoman Empire. So as a result, Pristina itself is a very new, young, and university city. In fact, one of their largest, most state-of-the-art buildings is in fact the library of the university. So we can see that culture and education are very much linked. Now, something that's interesting is that the city is covered, in fact, in murals, which are legal, so artists can bear their signature on the murals. And as you can see here, we have 3 different examples. In this case, one that is showing something contemporary, something kind of dystopian, something new, with the robotic woman, with the insects. Another one that's is using a different approach in contemporary art, one that's very much centered on a change of perspective, even messing with your perspective, completely changing what the building looks like. If you look at it next to the skyline, you have to look quite closely to understand where the building starts, where the sky ends, and which part is mural, which part is not. Truly it's a recreation of eyesight here. And then the third one, depicting justice, in a very contemporary manner. You notice that not only do these murals have the signatures of their artists on them, but that they are important not only to decorate the cityscape, but to establish a Kosovo identity, which as a result has to exist in contemporary art, as it is very much a contemporary country. Contemporary art in Kosovo, there are many discourses about it, but we can definitely say that contemporary art in Kosovo, any contemporary art, but certainly monumental public art, very similar to the statue that I'm standing in front of right now, is, just like this statue in Venice, very much tied to Kosovo identity, to Pristina identity, and all the different history parts that this is pulling from the Ottoman Empire, from communist Yugoslavia, and then finally has its own country of Kosovo. And we see this in the city of Pristina, just like we see here in Venice. Thank you so much, and join me for my next episode of Art of the Week with Katya. See you soon!